¡Oh! El Leviatán tiene que ser quirúrgico. ¡Ahí está!
Here with Go Kid of Leviatán. I'm speechless about that map. That was clinical from your boys. I'm asking you both coaches the same question. What happened that map? How did you run with that?
I think it was a mixture of us knowing that they're going to pick it and having good prep, and the guys just playing amazing and executing everything perfectly and shooting really hard. So that was incredible.
Well, best of luck on map 2. I don't know if you need it, but best of luck.
We were expecting a banger, and don't get me wrong, there were plenty of moments to be excited about for that one, but more so if you're a Leviatán fan, as they walked away dominating out of map 1. That was Crew's pick as well, and you heard Gokev, the coach there of Leviatán, just a second ago saying, we had a feeling they were going to go into this map, and we were ready for it, and boy, were they ready, Mimi.
Yeah, they looked fantastic. Going back from no more cooking, playing the default comp, and executing on it incredibly well. I think Crew got good starts to a lot of these rounds, especially on that first half. They were getting into sight, they were getting opening kills, but in the late round, Leviatán was winning everything. Their retakes in particular were ridiculous.
Yeah, and they were ready for aggressive pushes after that pistol round. I mean, we saw Crew do the classic. You know, they wanted to fight in a spawn, and it worked. That's what gave them the first 2 rounds.
This round was nuts.
I feel like this round was so, indicative of the game, because it starts off with Kesnet hitting some nasty shots with the blade. That first one-tap is lovely stuff, but then Lev turn around and in a man disadvantage end up winning this retake with Aspas and Mazzino going crazy.
I mean, it also helps, too, when Aspas is just, willing blades into people's faces. I mean, look at this.
With 15
HP. You know how hard that is.
It's insane. I mean, people can jiggle you. Anything can happen. He hit 2 of the most precise knives that he needed to in the moment with 15 HP to his name.
And this is the matchup that everyone was excited for, obviously so. And Aspas is above and beyond. And I don't think Kesnet had a particularly bad game or anything.
For sure.
I just think a lot of the same ideas that has been working for this team isn't. You see rounds where he's fighting into spawn, rounds where they're kind of over-peaking, taking these risks, and Lev is punishing it every time where other squads worked. So I'm going to be honest, we brought up the, Crew needs a humbling, needs, to come back, learn from the mistakes, run into a tough opponent. That narrative might be real.
Yeah, I mean, you set the narrative, so...
Me, making up my own narrative.
I mean, I agree with you, though. I think it would be good. I want to see the #1 seed be 2 LATAM teams. I mean, I want that. So I'm definitely biased in this series. But you're 100% right. Lev were punishing Crew in every type of aggression that they had, whether that have been the post plants that they had.
Yeah, I don't see it as a Crew. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm sure Crew would have liked to have been able to, put a little bit more on the board there. But the reality is, man, is that you look at all 5 players in Leviatán, they were hitting. It was scary.
When you're dominating, when you're beating every team you play and you're doing it in a dominant way, it's really tough to actually learn what's good and what's bad and what your mistakes are.
Yeah.
It's always about, for good teams, how you come back from that loss and actually getting exposed for which of your plays aren't going to work against the best. And I mean, we saw that here.
I'm very glad you mentioned how you come back into this here, because obviously you will be needing to lean on Coach Adam. So let's hear what he has to say as we get ready for map number 2.
Here with Coach Adam of Crew Visa. Not only was that your map loss, that was the worst map loss you have ever had on Split 1. You usually, I believe, lost 11-13. That was obviously not that. I'm asking both coaches the same question. What happened that map?
I think it's been hard for us to find a rhythm, and a team like Lev won't give you space to breathe. But I think that the team is better now, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to do a better breeze.
Well, best of luck.
GB is just died. But I mean,
choking. Sorry.
This is a scary map, okay? Let's just set the stage right now with how Aspas was dominating with the op. On that Ascent defense, he was going nuclear with the op, getting first bloods. He was super confident, anchoring sites even.
Yeah.
So when you're going into a map like Breeze, where that's going to be even more prevalent.
Yeah, no, we're going to Breeze. A little sand went in my throat there, so got a little verklempt for a moment. Thankfully, we have an incredible production team that is bringing me water literally as we speak. In any case, though, there was something that he said there that I did want to point out, which was him saying that, Lev had that space to breathe. But I think it's important to note that Lev kind of took that space from them in a very aggressive, manner, which goes to show that I think, yeah, you're right. Crew did need to experience this, and Leviatán definitely feels like they're on top of the world right now.
My worry is that Breeze plays in a lot of ways. It has a lot of similarities to Ascent, where I think some of these same issues can crop up. The way, in particular, Lev plays their defense. They have a lot of great util to deny plant and go for these fast floods, with Aspas following up some great utility from the initiator players. They've dominated on this map thus far, and those were the same win conditions they were finding on Ascent. So this is going to be really tough for Crew to dig deep and come back.
Yeah, we were talking about the 1-2 punch for Crew. Crew this, Crew that, Kesnet, he. But what about Aspas and Mazzino? Mazzino went crazy in that map.
He did.
I mean, he was over Aspas for most of the game. It's just at that very end, Aspas took over.
And it's funny because for a long time, early days Crew, when they went on that run a few years back at Champs 21, the duo then was Kesnet and Mazzino. Those two were hand in hand.
That's so true.
I wonder what the
was
connection
playing.
is.
Yeah, he was playing like Sage and stuff back then. Those two were sick, but now they're up against each other, and Mazzino is just playing lights out. Why I was mentioning it in the cast, but compared to his performance in Kickoff at the beginning of Split 1, this guy has come back and been so impactful for Lev in their kind of run back now. And as we hop into Agent Select, we shouldn't really expect any surprises.
Yeah, probably a mirror.
Yeah, just going to be default comp for both these teams, most likely.
Yeah, and again, I got to give the advantage to Lev here because, I mean, even Calm in that last map was firing at all cylinders on that Sova. His utility was on point as always, and, I mean, they look sharp.
Yeah, mirror matchup going into this, not much of a shocker. You're definitely going to want to see Crew step it up here. They know they ran into the brick wall of Leviatán here.
Yeah, Heat and Kesnet, that 1-2 punch, they've got to be great if Crew's going to come back. And if they can't do it, Leviatán will win this 2-0 and lock the #1 seed.
Well, let's see if we can get to a map number 3. I'm sure the Riot Games Arena would very much like that. But let's find out and send it back to your casters. It's Uber and Wyatt.
I would very much like that too, Golden Boy, but that might be a bit of a stretch goal as it stands. We came into this game saying we have the two best teams in any region right now, by the numbers going head to head. Who would have thought the gulf between them on that first night would have been so wide?
I mean, also, lest we forget, that was Crew's map pick, and they got absolutely blown out. And now we're heading to Leviatán's Breeze, where we last saw them against G2, a very quality G2 who took a map off them in that series, had it close on the third as well, ultimately losing. But it was against them that Lev won 13-6 here, started on D, got 10 rounds out. And listen, given the status of the momentum, the individual play we saw last map, hard to imagine we might not see the same unless Crew really turn things around here.
And you were going to see that from Aspas every time on that pistol round. Again, does Aspas with the Chad Sheriff by this time around? He was 11-2 after 5 rounds against G2 on defense. Off to a good start already as Kesnet wanders somehow into the crosshair. Heats has nowhere to go. His Lev have this one on lock. That's about as convincing as it gets.
I've never seen a more effortless round in my life. They simply held the crossfires and got every kill. They simply played the perfect positions for each other, got the player indoors to fly. I mean, I don't, what can you even say about this?
We need to see an inspired Crew on this map, not just mechanically proficient, inspired to have a chance of putting a scratch on this juggernaut of Leviatán.
And so far, it's a two-dimensional flattened Crew on round 1. Kesnet buying up that Sheriff, trying to make some magic happen here. Aspas with the Outlaw on defense. He did the same against G2. Of course, Breeze with being such an open sightline map. Operators dominate here. This is their terrain, and similar goes for the Outlaw. So looking to get some of those long-range engagements, and if Crew did buy up anything, it can mess up their economy going forward.
Shy spotted there in mid. Aspas chooses that opportunity to spring forth. Easy pick off, takes a glancing blow, but he's able to get back to safety as Kesnet warned him away. Well, whatever the spike is now, mid door is where Crew are now going to have to consider committing. Can't they amble onto the side, but already getting lit? Aspas swings that wall again, aggressive as ever, and King is the other side of that 1-2 punch. Come there. Little awkward, but King will finish the round with 3 and Lever off to the start they were hoping for.
Kesnet at least with a couple kills at the very end there, so that Sheriff wasn't all for naught. But still, Lev, I mean, look at those positions at the end, how they're swinging for each other. They're so proactive, calm, rotating around to the other side of Pyramid while King is swinging upstairs. Osboss back yellow. I mean, they make it look too easy, and it's because it is too easy for them at this point.
And as we start to get into the gun rounds here...
I deserved it, honestly. Let's go.
As we get to the gun rounds here, expect to see really proactive defensive util from Lev to slow and deny plants. They don't want to be forced into those. They want to play ahead of it.
And already you can see this Outlaw from Osboss has put a spanner in the works here for Kesnet. He has no util outside of the dash because he needs a heavy armor. And it's just such a massive risk, especially when we've seen Osboss do this before.
Lev's defensive setup does often leave a couple lanes unattended. G2 were able to get some pretty deep lurks on them. Here we see Shy posted up in halls.
It's that tripwire back hauls to get the information. Overall, this buy from Lev, pretty poor, right? I mean, they're just going to come into this with 2 ghosts. They're not going to be buying up too much here. And they need to convert something, man. They need to convert one of these gun rounds. And already things have gone awry. Their entry down. I mean, Kesnet has no smoke to try and play off.
No smokes, no dash, raw contact. Always going to get punished by an Outlaw here. Here's the recon. Aspas completely unbothered.
In the meantime, though, that was all a distraction for the brunt of the crew force to try and work their way towards A, but it's just falling apart, folding like a cheap chair. This is brutal.
They brought 2 ghosts into this round, Leviatán. It's all too easy. Class with a shock to work with. Catches the timing on combo, that's it. And then he catches them hands. King another 3K.
This might be the toughest test we'll ever see in Valorant of a team's mental resilience. This is just
with a ghost, like
disastrous right now for crew. Absolutely disastrous. And now Lev, economy out of control going into this because they had ghosts, for God's sake, Mitch. So they're going to carry over the free Vandals as well. All of the players, 4 of them over 4K right now, 2 with 5K. I mean,
0-3-0s.
God.
Kissy faces all over the scoreboard for crew.
Kesnet picks up the Guardian, wants to be a hero, excuse me, stacked up towards A, or all of the crew forces with this late lurk in mid from Shy. Getting off some space, off the Viper's wall, Kesnet trades 1.
King's gonna be there though, sees the spike go loose, and no opportunity for a trade. Aspas takes a sidebar, that's allowed Kesnet to creep up a little bit more, and he doesn't see the top of his head.
There we
3
go.
for Kesnet, now the cooking. Mazzino ascends the stairs. Still no plant yet. Some of that util will come to interrupt, but the blades are coming out. Kesnet explodes into the game with an I-5 power race.
Finally, he's woken up, and sometimes that's what it takes to also get the mental online for the rest of your team. When you see someone stepping up like that, popping off, finally a moment of brevity and excitement for this squad.
That's the question for crew. If you want it enough, this is what it's going to take. Beautiful stuff from Kesnet. What a way to get you up. And this is a team, they sort of talked, they said, we're really, I think Shy, in an interview, it was Melser, in fact, saying we're trying to avoid these passive, these quiet mindsets that we can fall into. This can help get them out.
And he didn't need it before, just carrying over the weapons from the other rounds, but it's Osboss now who is bought up with that operator. So dominant on defense on Ascent, just that last map, and Breeze, obviously with the big sight lines. The weapon here thrives.
Clearing some trips. Still 1 left in place there for Tex. Playing inside the Cyber Cage, gets it alive, but Kesnet a little bit too fast. Starting to run rush shot over them here on the B site. Looks like Mazzino wants to peer in here from around Berlin. And they will allow a plant for crew, and he will hold this line.
Finally, this team is awake. Some signs of life here, some fire into this round. A fast hit onto B. We haven't seen a lot of it, just big explosive hits from either team so far on their attack sides. Things a bit more slow-paced, monotonous at times. The crew with some explosivity. Kesnet, 2 first kills in a row now. Finally, things are rolling for this team, and it feels like we might be getting a real game on our hands.
And he was over that B site like moss on a rock wire. He wasted 0 time getting in. That's the kind of fast hit that was conspicuously absent from Crew's playbook on Ascent. And walked through some smokes on the A main. It was ugly stuff. And this has prompted a 3-gun save for Leviatán.
And they realize now, too, that Aspas has an operator. He finally fired a shot off. He had it over at the A site, where obviously there was no action to be seen. So it was possible they were going into this round not even knowing that he had it. But given that final moment where he fired off one of those bullets, they're now aware and are going to have to play around that. Lev able to get up another full buy here. King with the Viper's Pit. Might just want to let that one go and B main to lock down that space of the map. That's a commonplace for it if you're intending on using it early into the round. There'd be a trip for him to play off there as well that was just given by Tex, and that is going to be the case. And he just has to play behind that trip, and B is essentially on lock.
Tex has already started to drift over there. A cam to peek down halls. Crew have left empty for the time being. They want to group up here over towards this A side of the map and are aware that Aspas with that operator will be controlling mid.
Here.
And that wall in mid from King is going to be a bit troublesome for Shy, the lurker, to work around as the rest of crew gather up for the A hit. We'll see if Shy can find a timing. The wall is down, the drone is in, and now Keston trying to get some space onto the site.
Okay, actually coming from the left-hand side here, catching Mizino with utility in hand. Com Flash there, forced to back down the stairway. He gets lit up again. Now that Util's getting into the back of the site here. Shock ignored by Heat as he stepped up after bringing Tex to heal. Com did find Klaus low with that shock. But Leviatán here don't really have any step to this.
So far, Aspas, no opportunities to get a kill with this operator. We'll see if crew want to hunt him down. I mean, at this point, look at their economy. It's out of control for crew. They can afford to go for this, to try and take it out of his hands. And again, 3 rounds in a row now. First kill from Kesnet. He is awake.
It's fast hits with Kesnet throwing a variation in somewhere along the line. Bursting through that Viper wall. Caught Mizino this time around.
Closing in.
They want to get this operator out of Aspas's hands, but they'd have to be cold and dead for that to happen, and it wouldn't happen any other way. Shy takes him down, and King cannot cross to recover that weapon.
Gonna bring the Vandal over, but obviously the operator, the weapon of value. Lever not gonna have the economy to be able to get one into this round, or actually, it might be possible if they work it in the proper way. We shall see, but again, it just comes down to Kesnet. Finally, this man is online. Him and Aspas, the 2 statistical best duelists in the world right now. In the best form we've ever seen them in. Both clearing their stats that they put up from last season as well, have elevated their game so significantly. And it was on Ascent that Aspas dominated, and now Kesnet running away with things 9-4, and it's going to force this live timeout.
And to be blunt, that proactivity we saw from Leviatán defensively hasn't really been there over the last couple of rounds. They will work together to re-clear some of these parts of the map in a way that doesn't use a lot of utility, right? It feels like here, they feel it's a big risk for them to do that. You saw like the Viper's Pit in B main, they passively then rotated Tex over to Horse through a cam down there, but never really encroached up on that A site. They gave space. They're allowing crew that bit of levity to swing through from A, make a fast execute with a standard Viper wall, and then have Kesnet disrupt them as they try and play for retake.
It is a testament to how good these crew site execs are right now, because Lev had them funneled into the A hit. They have the pit on B so they don't go there, op in mid so they don't go there. They hit into 3 players and absolutely dominate their setup. We'll see how things go now. And I was waiting to see, Aspas is going to go for the glass cannon operator. He just barely had enough to buy it up. It's gotten not an ounce of value so far, and it looks like it won't again because he's on B, and it's another fast hit here from crew. Actually, I say that too quickly myself. The knife denies them just temporarily, turning some of that utility off. Klaus is going to get his Hunter's Fury online. Heat's null command. They have big ults to play with here for a site exec. But look at this, the Cypher setup is here on A and Tex is far away, so the trips don't actually get turned off.
Okay, Aldrone brought down Hunter's Fury. Keyed up here for Com. Checking some of the common locations. He does get lit for a moment, and that is all the King needs to swing for 3. That might be enough. Com here gonna give it a little bit of room. Kesnet With the spike drop back in B main. It might be Shy that has to go and find that. There's a trip and he knows it. He's cleared that out. Now Leviatán know all they need to. That Shy has converged upon A to join Kesnet.
Trying to give some space for Kesnet to get the spike, and he does just that.
Spike
They have
planted.
two cross positions here. Shy is actually going to go all the way back around and try and get into A main to help Kesnet. Can he do it in time, though? Look at the pressure. The recon revealing his position as well.
He has time, Wyatt. He's going to get there. A lot of these shocks coming through, but Tex swings one on Kesnet, and now it's all on Shy. And it's not parted for him. Aspas gets value out of that glass cannon operator. We suspected he'd struggle.
Such a heads-up defensive setup from Lev, with Tex playing all the way over on B. They saw Heat had the null command, so he's playing away from the trips so they can still shut down that push. Did exactly that. Just such great awareness from the team there on the defensive side to finally claim a round after a few strung in a row for Crew.
The time buy here for King White is massive. That's what really allows the rest of Leviatán to be in place.
Finally, someone that understands. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. No way.
Ospa's happy to just finally get a chance. He's been AFK on the other side of the map. He's gambling the wrong areas of the map in the last few. Finally had a chance.
And he had to whole keister to get there.
And this drone gonna spot out Shy now, so you have to imagine the rest of the team most likely on a different part of the map, and Ospa's gonna take advantage of that to get a deep angle here. Shy might be in trouble. Trying to push up even further now are Ospas and Tex.
Okay, that's what it takes for Aspas to find his. He was traded out though. Somehow Aspas gets away with it.
That trip causing some danger. He really could have gone down there. Oh my god, King almost threw his life away there in main. Just running straight into Heat. Look at the Crew position, and Kesnet has managed to walk all the way down All's. Got behind because Tex was down, the trips weren't active.
Yeah, they left the lane open, exploiting the lack of Cypher. Mizzito at least able to try and right the wrongs here, but he's low. Yeah, that Snakebite, he had to back away from awful quick. Another molly to key it up. If he finds more value, even just damage here, he'll be pleased. And a full kill for Mizzito at 6 HP. He's got so much to do. And he's more than happy to step up. Again, Aspas gets there.
Have to be. Who is this guy? Where was this man earlier in the year? I mean, unreal play from him, stepping up for, I don't know, the 30th time in this series. Again, the anchoring from him, the defensive play on Ascent, it was sublime. A little quiet to begin, but he just shouldn't be getting away with it at 6 HP.
Unreasonable.
Oh my god. Crew, though, their economy good enough for another buy. They've got great ultimates in play here as well. Hunter's Fury for Klaus. Melser with that Viper's Pit, and it's Kesnet. Maybe his 4th, 5th first blood of the game. This guy, he is heated up.
Able to punish that aggressive foray from Leviatán. A crucial double for Kesnet, no pun intended. And now that B-side is essentially wide open behind these Viper walls. Mazzino might want to pop through here. Flush Heat out of that corner. This could be good for a freebie. Heat's able to get over and no one else is watching the line. One-sided. Now it's just King with no reason to challenge this.
Just going to fall off. Only 150 credits to his name. Crew able to retain all of their guns into this round. Flawless. Kesnet. The first kills have just been so outrageous from this guy. And it's just these fast hits on Ascent. Things were very slow for them. They were really taking their time. They weren't as explosive in the way that they are now. I mean, saying they weren't as explosive doesn't even do the difference justice, frankly. I mean, they were...
Yeah, it's coughing baby hydrogen bomb difference,
It really is. They were dull on Ascent attack and are electric here on Breeze. Totally different team. Things started in such rough shape, and it was that Kesnet ace that suddenly just flipped the switch, and the mentality has been so different since then. I mean, come on.
There's two players, it's a double swing, and there's an operator involved, and Kesnet still wins out. That is beyond unlikely. It's about time to talk about this, though. Leviatán need one more round to secure the top seed in their group.
Watch this.
And we've got Aspas popping his knives, walking down. Kesnet taking that first engagement. Another first kill! I mean, it is out of control. It is absurd. But Aspas, they're not aware that he's pushed up, so he's going to be able to trade one back and just barely slips away. Going to retain this 4-on-4 now. Chaotic beginning, but now Crew, they're just steadfast in their positions. Heat taking some space up mid.
I got the spike.
Kesnet here, just creating opportunities, materializing them out of thin air. Nothing but some buttons and pocket lint, creating gold. Not this time though.
Spike down.
Com transmutes him to dust. There'll be more action here. Oh, okay, Lev, I think Com trying to turn a flash there. Isn't able to cover Heat's position. So now we're even on numbers and the spike is inexorably heading over towards B where Aspas lies in wait.
Wall going to come up from Melser, so not going to be able to get any help from other parts of the map as Aspas with it all to do if they go for the hit, but they don't. This is all a fake, a ruse. They put up the wall to try and draw rotates, and it's going to allow Shy. Look at his position all the way at the top of the map. Going to be able to cut off the people rotating back, see if he can get the man advantage for Crew here.
They have to imagine someone is waiting here. Shy gets the drop on Mazzino though. And Aspas denied an opportunity to make a trade of it, but it's all down to Melzer now.
Enemy remaining.
Who's able to get the plant. He can take an early fight from King if he can get it. King has no intention of offering it that easily. Aspas, you see him dash across the sides. He's good for it from long range.
I mean, this Aspas is inhuman. How does he do this every single round? I mean, I'm seeing him in spawn in that 1v1 against Shy, and despite how incredible Shy's been, it's just, you're just expecting Aspas to win these situations. 9-4 right now. What has he been like? Plus 30 in every series this year. By far the statistical leader of every player in every region this year or in the history of VCT. I mean, I can't stop saying it because it's just outrageous. This guy is in form that we've never seen from any player in the history of the game.
We've seen world-beating performances before, right? Second in Madrid, incredible showing. We've seen it from every region, but the consistency that Aspas has been able to bring, that's on a different level.
Camera taken out.
Luckily for Crew, their economy has been pretty rock solid, so they can buy up here again. And even if they lose, they'll be able to buy into the last round too. Now, they've been sitting on this Klaus Hunter's Fury for quite a while, so we'll see if they finally get an opportunity to use it in the post plant. Trips broken by the shock and the exec off the back of it.
Kesnet wastes no time. He get into grips now with this big side. Here's that Hunter's Fury. And it lines come up pretty nicely. Klaus not able to finish him, but Com's going to get aggressive behind that wall, and he is brought down. Snuffed out. 3 left for Crew to make their way through this doorway.
One enemy remaining.
It's just Melzer again. Do they know where he is? They line up for him. Leviatán here starts to take Crew off the boil bit by bit.
Last round.
The pace there from Lev, we've seen it on both maps now, how fast they are at getting back in there on B. That execute, it felt like it was slower than the, you know, than the pre-take, than the flood back in from the Lev side.
Got interrupted.
I mean, just the pace on this. King was ready over by Arches, makes his way in. Just fantastic play from Lev there.
Body in the middle of the execution.
I love that.
Com able to do very well there to find a timing to disrupt the attackers.
I mean, what is this position from Aspas? He is going to fall off. The pit is going to control A main. And if there's one thing I've been so impressed with by Lev, it's that they are mixing up their defensive setups every single round. It's a different look on different maps. I mean, the level of detail that they have in their game on the defensive side is so impressive at the moment.
Crew here now, starting to extend into mid. We've not seen this variation from them quite yet. Since the pistol, in fact. See this every now and then mixed in on those ecos, but they have the guns to back this up. Oh, Tex though. Sharp shot. Kesnet with the knives out is brought down.
And that's going to force them back into A, where they're going to have to contend with the Viper's Pit from King. He's only got the Judge in his hands, though, so obviously long-range fight's not going to be an option. And trying to make some noise with Crew like they were going A, but aspas heard that. He was close by. He heard the footsteps. They know they're going back to B right now.
I think Mazzino also knows something is afoot here. Some shots through the wall. I'm going to back away behind some of this utility, and there it is, Klaus! His head goes rolling. Tex doesn't care if he's lit. Meltzer trying to salvage. Shy gets involved now as well, but it's all down to Shy. Spike to hand, and he has the info about where Tex is set up. That cam had to be swatted aside. Still no chance to plant. We're down to 12 seconds left in the round, and this is buying time for King to get set up for a crossfire. At some point, he's going to go for it. Leviatán bring him down to earth and get themselves 8 rounds and a half.
The anchoring by Tex is just so good, and it's a totally different setup from Lev that Crew were just not prepared to work around at all. Those deep sight anchors on B. King left them the wall there to play off of 2 if they needed it. You can see he put it up there. It's just so detailed from Lev. So impressive.
Damn! You're doing like the salsa! Okay! Hey, he's getting his shoulders in on the action.
He's just the vibe. He is the vibes merchant right now for Lev.
Well, things must be going pretty well on the Com household. Speaking of which, we're going to find out more. We're going to head down to Elizabeth with Com's fiance.
Yes, I'm here with Com's fiance, Madison. First thing I have to ask you, is he always like that? Just saying he's about to do a salsa, that kind of like energy?
Yeah, Corbin is always pretty goofy. He likes to keep the energy up. So I'm really happy for this LATAM matchup. He was super excited, and he keeps up the hype for the team, so I'm happy.
Would you say he's like the vibes merchant of Lev?
I think they're all a little bit of the vibes merchant. I think Com starts it out sometimes, but they're all pretty vibey.
All right, so we were talking, you play a little bit of Valorant, just a little bit. When you are watching these games, you know, having the knowledge of the game, is it just so much more stressful because you understand like, oh no, like the timing or the rotate, something like that?
So I'm only bronze, and
that's okay. All ranks are valid. All ranks are valid. That's okay. It's a bell curve. Plenty of people are bronze.
I do understand a little bit, but of course, Com knows a whole lot more than me. But watching Com play, I'm probably stressed every single minute, every single second of the game. Even if they're winning, like 11-6, I am stressed, or 11-3, I am stressed. But I'm just happy to support him and see him live his dream.
Well, they have officially secured the first seed. That's right. Even the game is not over. How does it feel now that you're watching this game? You're like, oh, well, they kind of secured it, but they haven't won. They haven't secured it, but they haven't won. Is that stressful, or is it kind of an easier time right now?
I think for me, I'm a little less stressed since they have the first seed, but I'm also pretty excited. Com is hoping that EG makes it because Jogimo is his last one on his list. But love you, Jogimo.
Oh,
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Let me explain. Corbin is still needing to beat Jogimo of his last X.
So we'll find out soon. But Casters, we have a tight game to get back to, so please take it away.
Yeah, no, not like a nice list. It's actually a death note. Just to make sure we're on the same page there. Leviatán already have locked up that top seed in the group. Now it's about settling the score.
Look at the weaponry on them. 4 ghosts and a sheriff on Lev. A couple sheriffs for Crew as well. 3 ghosts. I mean, it is Breeze. This is basically, you know, you could rename it to The Range, and that would be apt.
Just Valorant. Why? It's all about a gunplay. Only weapons kill.
That's what I've heard about Project Day. I still don't know if it's true. I don't know if I believe that, Mitch.
Heavens.
Crew, man, they had a run there for a moment on their attack side. The things slipping away. A pistol round here would be massive for them. It was Lev that won the first, converted the bonus as well. In dire need of it, our Crew.
Let's see if Kesnick getting involved in that defense side calling can move the needle here for Crew. Meltzer about to get some action. Okay! Getting more than he bargained for there, for sure.
Quick rotate in from Kesnit. Heat picking up the angle on main.
We've got a lurk up pulse here. Let's see if it ends up being relevant. Tex is trying to get there. And King brings Heat down. We'll have to plant behind this Viper wall here. There is a late reflank from Klaus. Running to some of that Viper. Rather that util from the Cypher.
It's just so free. The HP is really low, but Shy is in so early, and Klaus, oh no, he walks into a trip back there as well.
They know. They absolutely know. A 1 versus 3 for Klaus. The mastermind of Crew cannot thread the needle.
And at this point, Mitch, it just feels like any glimmer of hope they get, any little spark to try to ignite some kind of comeback here, some kind of fire within them, it just slips away, even when they have those 4 rounds in a row, spurred on by that incredible Kesnet ace. Meltzer gets 2 to top the, to begin the round. And
yeah. Little off angle there. That's beautiful.
It's just falling apart. It's beginning to feel a bit hopeless for them, and I hate to say it. Kesnet's got to marshal into this round. Obviously, that weapon is great on this map. On so many of these rounds, Kesnet is going for these hero buys, these hero moments. He feels like he needs to be the guy to bring things over the finish line for them. It's happened a few rounds, but not enough.
It's as good as an outlaw against most of Lev here, if you're hitting those headshots. All right. Com knows exactly what is awaiting him there and takes the body hit. Kesnet also though quite low after that exchange.
Stacked up on the A side here. Our Crew, but they're going to begin to fall off. They're going to take a risk moving towards B. The cam is about to get broken, which is definitely going to trigger the idea that the execute is going to be coming in here. Lev taking it a little bit slow, but they are going to work into the site, at least with text, but it feels like they're giving themselves the option to fall off if they need to.
He's big. This is a big flank here by Heat, and he sees the spike go loose as well. Now you're feeling pretty awkward if you're Tex. Caught between a rock and a hard place. And he's only good for the trade. Now he could be absolutely bloody anywhere.
And what
I hope Aspas has his infrared side
30
on.
seconds left.
How did he find that timing? Aspas with an opportunity. Gonna have his dash turned off here. He's trying to get the swing onto Heat. This tight angle with the scope weapon.
Perfect. Lev still with 2 to play with and a bit out to recover the spike, but they've got to make a quick hit, and Crew are not leaving the B side. This one's about to get messy. If you're squeamish, you might want to be looking away. And again, what's the point? You've got the weapons here. Why throw them away?
Just no time at all. So much of it wasted. It looked like Lev were trying to keep their options open at B by giving space for Tex to just walk in alone. Mizuno wasn't fully committed with the spike in yet, and at the same time, it's because they had King all the way over on the A side. He was getting some space, and then they decided, yeah, let's fall off, but Heat just found the perfect timing, the perfect flank. And maybe this is the spark. Maybe this is where things can kind of start rolling for Crew. I mean, we've been waiting for that moment. We thought we had it on attack, but it slipped away, and they need it now more than ever.
Heat made his own luck in that last round.
Revealing area.
Crew here now want to pivot off of that. This time we'll have that Viper Cypher set up over towards B here. Klaus. Yep, okay. Well, I think someone's in halls.
Yeah, Klaus is not going to be risking peeking into that one anytime soon. Everything on A currently being watched by Crew, and it looks like they actually want to go for a play here into A main. Yeah, pop flash. Kesnet is going to get this space. It is going to force out the drone from Com to re-clear it, so, you know, a flash for a drone. We'll take that exchange. Some nice pressure there.
Knowing Kesnet, I mean, what's going to stop the guy from just trying to re-clear it again? It looked like Heat had already fallen back. We have a split, but mostly centered on this double door push, potentially.
Lineup now coming in from King with that Molly. Gonna force a player off of Tony Hawk, but no one is actually there. Back sight is Kesnet on stairs. Is Heat now the crossfire setup?
Because it was ready for Aspas again. This is classic Lev. Make lots of noise. A main try and sneak Aspas in, but the timing didn't favor them at all.
One enemy remaining.
Crew finding every shot. And King here. They'll be abdicating the throne in just a moment, I suspect. Not been given too much here. Oh, wait a minute! 10 seconds is not enough to make something happen here. That's big damage to the economy of Crew just as it was beginning to burgeon. Can you find any more for this?
Could be a timing with Meltzer here to do a little bit more damage.
That wall's going to come down. Not in time, though.
Oh my god. And that is of significance. Those players on crew were all at like 500 or so or below. So losing 3 rifles there. Really nicely done from King, who, I mean, do my eyes deceive me looking at the scoreboard here? Do I need a new prescription for my contacts? Is he 21-3 at the moment?
King is accounting for the vast majority of the action on the side of Leviatán. And hey, Mazzino to get the attention this time around. Kesnit, though, on his little elbow boost. Favored by both Jet players in this game. And again, that defensive proactivity, right? 2 players. Clear some of those angles.
Nicely done from crew, and they're just going to fall back, play passively. They have the Cypher set up here, the wall to play off of. And also King, he's 21-3, but what a stand-up guy. He gave the Vandal to Ospas and took a Guardian. Even still, he's going to give it to Ospas, the star duelist. What a guy. Kesn Klaus re-clearing, but walking into an angle.
Come over to get pitched to 1. Eventually Aspas as well will be brought down. Crew closing the gap here round by round. A little bit awkward with what King did to them in the previous, but they're still going to be able to build up that bank. Lev now finally the chance to buy in and disrupt this comeback.
And you mentioned it, the defensive, aggression there from crew.
It's a trademark.
Paying off. It really is. And a lot of it's not really spurred on by big utility plays. It's just a simple pop flash here or there, or oftentimes it's just 2 guys swinging from different angles.
One swing close, one swing wide.
Yeah, they love going for plays like that because they have the mechanical skill to pull it off. We've seen that this season from all 5 players. Kesnit going deep, but forced to fall back due to that KO knife.
Yeah, he would have wanted the mobility to get out of dodge if he'd committed. This will allow King to simply post up and guard any forays from the defenders down mid. The crew have given most of it up after being stave-offed after that early push. Com now clears mid, and they might look to capitalize off this space.
And look at how deep that drone was from Com. I mean, neither drone spotting any players out, but Lev relegated so far back on the map, they had to do that from bottom mid, but Ospas is now going to try and take the space off of that with a minute remaining on the clock. Spintex watching over towards the A side with his tripwire setup. Now going over to B, or Lev, with Ospas taking that late position in mid, trying to catch a rotator perhaps, a little bit of a backstab.
Very much embedded. And because crew are playing for a retake here, this could be an extremely powerful spot to play from. The chips need to fall the right way, though, and Aquas isn't ready. Shai makes his way in a tunnel briefly, and he strikes gold. That's Johannes Fury now. Into the post plant with Leviatán, with 2 players out towards B main still. Here come crew.
Look at that utility coming in backside. Really nice from crew. They're trying to spill out behind that wall as it goes down.
Down to 3. Now with 2 players coming in from B main, and King's not ready for it. They don't have eyes on the flank. That was awkward. Kesnit drops to the ground, lifeless eventually. Tex! Unbelievable Tex!
Every single time, there's a glimmer of hope.
Fastest gun in the West. Oh, make no mistake.
God, every single time, something goes right for crew. Dashed away by Lev again. Texas play on Breeze so far this season has been very good against G2. Stepped up massively on Cypher. And again now backside. Just a little grin, a little salute, a little wave. I'm gonna get 2 extra.
And then a bon voyage. Yeah.
Oh my God, man. This team right now.
Hey, let them hang, King. That's what I'm saying.
Can just do no wrong.
Okay. So yes, Lev have definitely disrupted crew once more, but looking towards the economy, crew have still a full buy to work with here and a chance to take the timeout to formulate the plan here. What do you say about a side hit that gets derailed by a player going absolutely nuclear on you? Like, what's the takeaway?
You just have to, time to refocus on the next round and come up with a game plan. And part of that, I think, is going to be because the economy was good enough. They're finally going to get an operator online here. And yeah, that is going to be in the hands of Kesnet now, who's, typically we've really just only seen him rifle so far today. But given that the map is Breeze, picking up the off is a no-brainer when you're on the Jet. Heat has that null command as well to play around for a retake. Crew, though, compared to Lev, they really haven't been as varied in these defensive setups. This Cypher setup over on the B side has been mostly the same on these rounds so far. And Lev, they're going to be able to get an understanding of that. They're going to be able to know how to play around it.
Perhaps a little readable in that sense, our Crew. They've got that A wall up there that sort of shuts down the split and pinch onto that site.
Taking full control of A main, and Texas always had this trip over here towards A. It's never gotten pushed down or broken. Now this drone is going to come in and the exec off the back of it.
Aspas needs to be wary of the trip, but again, it's Shy. It seems to be his kryptonite on many of these fast hits. The rest of Leviatán instead want to group up towards Elbow. That's a big pick for Tex. Taking immense amounts of control of Halls, but can't get away.
And that was Tex taking advantage of the fact that, again, they're setting up 2 trips on B very often here. Aware of that, walks all the way down. But the pressure on Kesnet here is huge. He knows he's getting pinched from multiple angles.
Not enough time for him to respond. Klaus spotted out by this, but still able to face Mazzino down. T-pose on him. Spike drop there, and Com was able to recover it. Now takes the wide swing. They're both looking at bridge here, but Klaus is playing from under it. What can King do? We've seen him with some beautiful 3 pieces so far. He can't even cross. Melsa makes sure of that.
Nicely dealt with there from Crew. Good pace there, helping on to the A site. That's Kesnet with a big pick off, and that early A main control as well. That was a pretty solid round from Crew there. I like the early play. Really the only issue came from Tex. Their lacking of that Hall's info could have been their undoing, but a good recovery nonetheless. Only trailing by 2 now.
Just a foot peeking through there by Tex. Otherwise, very reasonable to Cybercage and open that door to get even more control.
And now it's going to be Leviatán taking their time out here late into the game. They're going to be on a full eco. But on to the next round is really what they're planning here. They're going to see what they can do on the eco, sure, but realistically, doesn't matter. For the next, they have Mazzino's null command online, and they have King's Viper's Pit. That's the 1-2 punch of take the site and hold it. Turn off that utility. Hold it with the pit. Now, we saw last half how aware Lev were of playing around the null command when they were on defense. I'm looking to see if Crew are going to be doing the same here. Lev, in their case, they had the Cypher play on one side and the actual setup elsewhere. Right, so he wouldn't get his utility turned off. We'll see how that's going to pan out now with Crew on defense. They haven't really been as dynamic as Lev so far. And again, it's this double trip set up on B, but now Kesnet is going to set up in Halls, which is where they got exposed on the previous by Alert. That operator is going to control the line.
Hero Guardian for Aspas here. Chance for Blade Storm, should an orb come into his possession.
And a different wall on A for Crew. Cuts off A main. Cuts off the door. Cuts off mid doors as well, so can be pretty great for the retake here. Texas Cam is getting some good info. The drone is going to come in, and here's that split with the wall coming up from Lev.
A split wall cuts across the top of Orange here. Heat does able to face Mazzino down early. Aspas needs to find contact, and he got it, but not how he would have liked it. Heat with 3. Eventually brought down inside that null command. Now Tex and King have to put it together. Tap away. Shy brought to heal. Now it's Kesnet, though, with those blades out. Bear in mind, King, no armor to speak of, even though he had advantage to his name. It's going to be a tough one to recover from, but he's able to find his 3rd. Now it's Melsa stepping up. King, no armor. It doesn't matter. One shot would have done it, but Melsa is quicker on the trigger finger.
I mean, so close. The other 4 Crew players sweating bullets watching Melser there. They don't. After all that on the timeout, I can tell you Lev's plan on the timeout wasn't, guys, let's go just win on our eco. Wasn't really their first thought, and they almost do it. So scary, King, when he recovers that rifle.
Leviatán with that round, impose a virtual salary cap on Crew, at least. There was a Guardian brought up into that round, but Leviatán still have a lot to work with. Now their null command is even, was still relevant. That was a close one. King again with a heroic performance. Yeah, look, I don't blame you, but...
Yeah, but a frustration. That's really the first time we're seeing it from Lev. Their energy has been extremely positive, very whimsical coming from Calm. That's kind of the first sign of frustration. And you mentioned that Guardian. It's because Aspas has his knives online here, which is going to be popping straight into this round.
Quite a fast hit from here from Lev, but Aspas is going to make enough noise to wake the dead here. 3 players going straight down halls. This may force Crew into some retake positions as they flash themselves out from the Cyber Cage. And yes, Crew are lined up here, right towards their spawn. Cyber Cage going to kick them there for now.
My question is, do they try to get in fast off this Hunter's Fury or take their time? And that question has been answered. They're slowing things down just a bit. 4 players coming from main, trying to work out of halls with this drone, are 2 of them, and Heat is going to be coming through the mid doors. It's going to be about this Hunter's Fury, flushing players out of the Viper's pit, or even better, getting tags into it.
Here's that Hunter's Fury. Mazzino spotted, and they're able to bring down the KO. Now he's out of the picture, but the pit will remain. Economy by no means stable for Crew, though.
Big reflank from Texan mid, too.
Can he find this now? It's going to have to be Zoom. It was watched. Kesnit drew a beat on that well in advance. And now King has to find his way again out of this. It is too much to ask. And Crew have done it, evening the score here on Breeze.
Fantastic retake from Crew. T's crossed, I's dotted. The way they retook halls there with the drone to push out, regain that space, which allowed freedom for Klaus to go for this Hunter's Fury as well. And I mean, obviously credit for getting that first kill. And then Meltzer pushed all the way down. They just got to every position to pinch in and get different angles on the retake. So nicely done. 10-10. Finally, Crew, for the first time since winning Pistol on Ascent, a chance to get the lead in this game.
All it took was, a mere ace from Kesnit to start this resurgence. Now Crew are taking full advantage. Kesnit again, ever the audacious one. Peeks in the elbow. That Lev actually have this double face.
Oh, he doesn't swing that. What a maniac. Different setup here from Crew. They have the pit deep in A main and actually focus some trips. The cam over there as well. 1 trip for halls. And with all of that going on A, they're just going to let Kesnit lock things down with the operator on the opposite side of the map. And now Lev, having run into that operator, want to refocus their attention elsewhere. And it's going to be towards A again. Here's that lineup coming in, that molly to clear close fence. And there's going to be a drone, I think, from main. Actually, no drone for Comp. No, there it goes. He's trying to drone into main, get this tag now onto Meltzer so they can spam him down, but he's able to dodge it, keep the pit up.
They've activated Tex into halls now. Let's see how far he can get. Mazzino trying to get up on the stairs, but Tex has been brought down. Hall's control remains under the Crew banner. Nice little tight angle there from Shire. King, no opportunity to intervene there. Cam will see it all. King faces him down, but only good for one this time. And Leviatán are slowly losing control of this game, if not already. Crew inch ever closer to that map point.
We're starting to see some good late game variation with these Crew setups. That was really nicely done. Risky peek from Kesnit aside. He was able to live after that early engagement, and from there the rotations for Crew, excellent. And it's a small thing, but Meltzer just being able to dodge that drone in A main in his pit is crucial to the round win. If he gets tagged there, he is getting spammed down. They have full A main control, but with him living, those Lev players getting into sight, they're immediately surrounded on all sides and now forced onto a bad buy. 2 Vandals, Mazzino, Aspas, 2 players who've been going absolutely crazy so far. The Crew finally with a lead.
An early double face there from Crew. Doesn't yield any information, but Kesnit will hold this line for now. Tentatively, Lev trying to find a way to work these 3 pistols around the double Vandal buy. Al drone. Don't think it's saw them behind that stack of masonry. And yeah, looks like A is still going to be a play. This one's going to come in real quick. Com trying to get ahead of it. And he does spot Kesnit with the operator in the back there. He has to reposition now. Cyber Cage to give Lev an opportunity to advance here onto the site. And you see them wanting to push through this Viper wall, but Klaus is trying to preempt it. He doesn't catch Tex. He's going to be there with the Sheriff. Kesnit wants to step up again, almost punishes Tex, but Shy also playing from between the pillars. It's Mazzino, they're finding 2. This is huge. Crew with 2 players to work with now. And still a rifle on Lev. They're going to back away and play it all from A main. Takes to Mazzino, though, not quick enough to get away. Kesnet wants to spring forward. 2 rifles for Lev, though. Kesnet low. They're in trouble here. Trying to double face this could be complicated. Melza, 1 for 1. Kesnet versus King. The 2 headliners in this game. Now for a pivotal round. Lev claw themselves back into it.
2 of the absolute best of LATAM head-to-head in the 1v1. King, who's now 29-9 on the Viper. That is outrageous.
Gosh, standard though, isn't it, for him?
That is damn near illegal. I don't know how you pull that off. Incredible. And on the eco, brutal loss for Crew. Luckily for them, economy still good enough for another buy, good enough for another operator for Kesnet. And we're going to see with the setup now, him over on that A side. Viper wall coming today as well. The trip for Halls. Pretty spread setup here.
Oh, hang on.
For Crew.
Kesnet almost runs headlong into much of Leviatán set up there, and they are pinging heavily just outside A main. They're aware there could be a close hold here. This might be another fast one.
That flash coming in. Can aspas get some space off of it? Kesnet forced it back.
Heat, though, is going to try and hold the line in the meantime. Hunter's Fury getting fired off here. Com's able to find Heat. KO's out of the picture there. That's a big one. Kesnet somehow not being looked at by aspas, at least able to trade it out, but Texas there again. Player advantage to work with for Lev, but Shy is going to get all the info. Okay, standard setups he sees here for Leviatán. The Owl drone that will spot out the location of this Cypher. They're going to swing past that snake bite. Melza gives no help from Shy. The Leviatán are 1 step closer.
It's crumbling at the very end for Crew. They've finally been able to keep this thing close, but Lev's A hits, they're just too good. Timeout going to be called now from Coach Adam.
Use it or lose it.
A man who you can't give enough credit to for what he's done with this team. A miracle there that Heat even gets 1, frankly.
They ping that close A hold. They know, or they expect that either Heat or Kesnet is right up there. And they had the perfect answer in the Hunter's Fury to get themselves a freebie. And aspas run wild on A.
And in those past couple rounds, the op not able to get enough value for the Crew side. Kesnet wasn't really able to make anything happen with it. And not going to be able to afford an operator going into this next round. It's going to be all rifles for Crew. If they've got enough money to do so. I'm not sure if all the players can even buy them at this point.
I don't think Shy can.
He might just be relegated down to a worse weapon, but even still at the moment, no ultimates in play. But that being said, Klaus is just 1 off from his, which is going to be that Hunter's Fury. So we'll see if they're going to try and contest one of these orbs. Klaus has been playing quite passively so far. Obviously, you don't really need or want that Sova in the close engagements, right? That's going to be the KO and the Jet. And yeah, not going to be in position to get the orb, but we'll keep our eyes on that. If he can get a kill at some point here, that could seal the game for them. They won them around already with an accurate few shots from that.
If King gets 2 kills in this round, or in the rest of the map, he ties aspas for the most kills in regulation time in a map in Americas. That is how bonkers his performance has been.
And of course, it's aspas. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's aspas's teammate that he would be tying. But this is it. Crew's flawless run here in stage 1 on the line. They have not lost a match yet. And Lev with a win here, firmly taking a stance as the best team in Americas at the moment. Arguably the best team in the world right now.
They opt to fold away from this wire, but Lev don't necessarily have any purchase on B. Are they playing off this Halls lurk? There's no trip.
And that's been a problem in a lot of these rounds, but Crew aren't going to make that fatal mistake again. Klaus has his eyes on that, and they're going to have to contend with the Cypher setup, Lev. They go for this B hit.
He's rattling the cage, Mazzino over at B. How well can he sell this? I mean, well, sold his soul for it, so he'd better hope it works out. Kesnet, though, is able to get deep here through A main. Crew in the advantage position by a good deal.
I love this from Lev. They're planting back pyramid. Oh, Kesnet picks off King in the back in halls. He was lurking there for so long. They plant back pyramid. They're trying to play forward. Like Tex, you can see him here, but he might get caught by Heat as well. These positions are so awkward. No Lev players' ability to hold for each other.
Aspas finding the one here, but where does Com go from here? There's too many angles to cover, and Aspas would have to go absolutely ultra instinct to save this round. But he may as well have a crack at it. It won't be happening, and Crew are going to force this one to extra time. King denied that regulation kill record. Leviatán now looking to fight in overtime.
That push out of A from Crew, catching them off guard, getting all that space, and of course the valuable information for the team to call some good rotates. And with that too, King just exposed. He has to deal with the players in front and behind, and it just left Lev in this awkward situation where no players could play off each other. They couldn't set up any reasonable crossfires. And now we're in OT, the two best teams right now in Americas. Crew playing for that flawless run through the stage into playoffs. Leviatán trying to cement themselves as the best in the region. All Vandals here. No one opting for the glass cannon operator. We may see one of the, Jets on defense.
It is
opt
Breeze
to pick that one up at some point.
Tex here, of course, can see pushes up mid and to B main. Cam quickly cleared out. No mid presence whatsoever for Leviatán, and Crew already encroaching here through tunnel. And Kesnet's ready to dash in. He goes for it, trying to get ahead of the drone. Com can't hold his ground. Tex now has to fight from this back corner, and he's been fantastic from this place on this map. Another one will be massive, and he does get it. Eventually traded out though. Aspas and King now have to make it happen, but they've got a long walk to get to B. King's just going for it. Keep waiting, swings it. Aspas now with it all to do once more. Has his dash up. Into the smoke he goes. Doubles back for a moment to see if Heat has crossed through archers. He's gonna make it here. And Crew. What a great hit coming down tunnel. The dash from Kesnet.
A great double face at the end from Crew to lock that thing up, and really, that's what we saw the whole round, was just the fundamentals like that. The trades from Crew really nice there. Adding a totally different look on attack as well. That was not like any other rounds that they had played on their initial half. Just that slow walk up into tunnel for the split onto the site. So a new little layer that Lev weren't expecting. Still no operators in play. Kesnet's gonna have that Vandal despite using the op a lot in the first half.
Crew here looking to take us to a third map in this series. Pretty flawless stuff in the prior. Now they get to defend. Trips here pretty standard. I think the setup for Shy over on this B site should be able to be cleared by Util comfortably enough. No, actually they go ahead of it. Aspas gets caught. Okay, no punish. He slipped through, but only just.
They haven't actually broken the cameo though. There it goes now, but Tex spotted out. Great first kill. Drone is gonna come up now to try to get some space for Crew.
Aspas trying to go for a variation there. Rewarded with some damage on Shy, but nothing more. Shy wants to push through that cyber cage here, and Mazzino's already gone down. Aspas trying to wrap the right-hand side. Cloud's not ready for it, but he got his. And Crew are far from done. It all starts with a spark. It's a Kesnet ace to send them on a collision course with Leviatán. And a third map.
It looked like every single time on that map, Crew had a little bit of a chance. Lev would just steal it away the very next round. At a point there, it just didn't feel possible for them, but they bring it all the way back on Lev's map pick. Both teams now exchanging, winning the map pick of the others. And what a relief. We're going to take this to Lotus, the third and final map, where Lev looked utterly fantastic against G2. And now, with his crew that are awake, sentient, and alive, and with Kesnet putting up 27 and 16, you have to believe that they're going to be in this game, that the third map will be a banger.
I wouldn't have it any other way. It's time for a quick break, but when we get back, the analysts are going to warm us up for a map 3 decider.
wings.